naked eye, something intentional, something spiritual. What if the chaos you've been experiencing isn't random at all? In today's modern world, many people have forgotten or dismissed the ancient understanding of spiritual warfare and witchcraft. But whether we choose to believe it or not, these forces haven't disappeared, they've simply evolved. They've gotten more covert, hiding behind new masks and more sophisticated techniques. And the effects they produce? Devastating, subtle, often misdiagnosed as just life. But here's the truth. If you're facing persistent misfortune that defies explanation, there may be something deeper happening. Something deliberate. Something personal. That's why this series is so important. In the next 3 parts, you're going to discover the 5 unmistakable signs that someone may be using witchcraft, or energetic manipulation against you. These signs are often missed until it's too late, and the damage has already been done. By the time people realize what's happening, they've lost relationships, opportunities, health, peace of mind, or worse. But that doesn't have to be your story. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. It's about empowerment. When you understand how these spiritual attacks work, you can recognize them early, and more importantly, you can protect yourself. Let's dive into the first telltale sign, one that often shows up in plain sight but is rarely understood for what it truly is. Sign number 1, unexplainable negative patterns that don't make sense. Everyone experiences occasional bad luck, a rough day here and there. Maybe your alarm didn't go off, your coffee spilled, and your car wouldn't start. That's just life. It happens to everyone. But what if those bad days start becoming the norm? What if you find yourself stuck in an unending cycle of breakdowns, losses, and disappointments that seem to hit over and over, specifically in the parts of your life that were once thriving? That's when the alarm bells should go off. Because this is the first red flag. Repeating negative patterns that strike multiple areas of your life at once, with no clear cause. Maybe your business was thriving, and then suddenly, clients start canceling without reason. Or your usually peaceful relationship turns sour overnight, filled with arguments that seem to erupt from nothing. Perhaps your once healthy body begins to falter. Random illnesses, fatigue, or unexplained pain. It's not just one thing going wrong. It's a cascade of problems, all hitting at once, often in the most inconvenient and painful ways. And here's what makes these situations different from normal life problems. They defy logic and resist solutions. You try everything. Better time management, improved communication, more rest, focused effort, and yet the problems persist, or even worsen. It's as if your progress is being sabotaged from behind the scenes. That's because, if witchcraft or energetic manipulation is involved, it often targets what matters most to you. Your success, your health, your happiness, your relationships. It doesn't just cause stress, it causes systematic collapse. Examples of this sign in action. Let's say every time you're about to close a big deal or land a client, your technology fails, your computer crashes, your phone dies, your email won't send. This happens once? Sure, bad timing. But week after week, with no reasonable explanation? That's a pattern. Or perhaps every time you plan a special evening with your partner, something random ruins it. An emergency call, a weird emotional argument, a power outage. It begins to feel like the universe is conspiring against you. But it's not the universe. It's intentional. The goal of such spiritual attacks is disruption. If you're close to a breakthrough, the interference increases. If you're healing, chaos erupts. If you're about to receive a blessing, the door slams shut. That's not coincidence. That's sabotage. How to differentiate bad luck from a pattern. Here's a simple rule. Real-life problems have real-life causes. If your car broke down because you skipped your oil change, lesson learned. If your stomach hurts because you ate something bad, case closed. But if the timing is always suspiciously aligned with your efforts to improve your life, start paying attention. When the same types of misfortunes happen repeatedly, especially right before something positive is supposed to occur, you're likely dealing with more than just random chance. Start tracking it. Practical step. Keep a spiritual interference journal. Write down the dates and times these strange events happen. Include what you were doing right before, who you were with, and what you were hoping to accomplish. Over time, patterns will emerge. You might notice that your problems always follow interactions with a particular person, or that things only go wrong when you're working on a specific type of goal, or that issues arise in certain spaces, your office, your bedroom, your car. Pay attention to how many areas of your life are being affected simultaneously. Is it just one thing, or are multiple areas falling apart at once? If it feels like your life was running fine one moment and completely unravels the next, that's a major sign. It's like your car was cruising smoothly, and then overnight, someone poured sugar in the gas tank, slashed the tires, and broke the steering wheel. Not coincidence. Not bad luck. A targeted attack. The psychological and emotional toll. One of the most dangerous parts of this type of pattern is how it messes with your confidence. You begin to question your own ability to handle life. You start to internalize failure. You might hear yourself thinking, "Why does everything I touch fall apart? Maybe I'm just cursed. I don't know what I'm doing wrong." But what if the truth is, you haven't done anything wrong? You're not cursed. You're being targeted. And the moment you realize this, everything begins to shift. Why this sign matters so much. Recognizing these negative patterns is crucial, because it's often the first doorway into understanding spiritual interference. On its own, it might not be conclusive, but combined with the next signs we're going to explore, it can form a powerful confirmation that something deeper is at play. More importantly, once you see the pattern, you can break it. Because patterns only hold power when they remain unnoticed. Once you shine a light on them, they begin to dissolve. We have explored the first sign that someone may be using witchcraft or spiritual manipulation against you. The emergence of negative life patterns that defy logic and strike multiple areas of your life all at once. Now we're going to take things even deeper, into your body, your emotions, and your immediate surroundings. Because when someone is targeting you spiritually, your physical reality starts to reflect that invisible war. And sometimes, the evidence is hiding in plain sight. Let's start with what your own body might already be telling you. Sign number 2, unusual. Physical and emotional symptoms that don't make medical sense. Your body is more intelligent than you think. It picks up on energy long before your conscious mind catches on. So when you're under spiritual attack, your body becomes the battlefield, and often the first casualty. Take the story of Linda, a vibrant woman I spoke to who had it all together, until she didn't. She was healthy, energetic, and successful. She loved life. But then, out of nowhere, she began experiencing crippling fatigue. By 2 p.m. every day, she felt like she'd run a marathon. No medical explanation. Tests, blood work, sleep studies, everything came back normal. Yet she could barely stay awake. But fatigue wasn't the only issue. Linda began experiencing waves of unexplained sadness and anxiety. Not stress from work, not the blues. These were deep, heavy feelings that hit her like a punch in the chest. Her doctor prescribed antidepressants. They didn't help. Sleep aids didn't work. She felt like she was drowning in something she couldn't name. And then came the dreams. Linda described vivid, recurring nightmares. Shadows moving in her room. A pressure on her chest. Paralysis that gripped her just before waking. It wasn't just disturbing. It was spiritual. When symptoms show up like this, without any physical cause, without responding to treatment, and with eerie timing, that's a massive red flag. The key differences. Normal sickness comes from within. You catch a cold, eat something bad, burn yourself on the stove. There's a clear cause and effect. Spiritual interference, it violates logic. You suddenly lose energy in certain places or around specific people. You develop fears you never had before. You start feeling drained after conversations or visits that used to energize you. If you're an artist, your creativity disappears. If you're an athlete, you're injured or sluggish out of nowhere. If you're a social butterfly, you suddenly can't stand being around people. It's not you. It's a targeted disruption of what makes you powerful. What to do? Start tracking your symptoms in a journal. When do they appear? Who were you with beforehand? Do they get worse after contact with a certain person or place? Do they improve when you travel, cleanse your space, or stay elsewhere? In Linda's case, her symptoms vanished completely when she stayed with her sister out of town, but they came flooding back within hours of returning home. She also noticed a strong reaction after meetings with a jealous colleague. Coincidence? Not likely. These signs are not just medical, they are energetic, and ignoring them only gives more power to the problem. So if your body is sounding the alarm, don't silence it. Listen. Now let's move on to something even more physical. The presence of strange objects or arrangements in your space. Sign number 3, finding strange objects or unusual arrangements in your home or workplace. This is one of the most visceral and terrifying signs. Someone may be targeting you with witchcraft or energetic manipulation. Because it's not just a feeling, it's physical evidence. The smoking gun of spiritual attack. And often it's right under your nose. We're not talking about haunted dolls or horror movie props. Modern-day witchcraft doesn't always look like the movies. It uses subtlety. Everyday objects charged with spiritual intention, placed in very specific locations. Common examples of cursed or charged items. A bundle of herbs tied with string, tucked into a drawer. A jar filled with nails, pins, or hair under your bed. Powders sprinkled across your threshold or front step. Stones or coins arranged in a pattern behind furniture. Jewelry that suddenly feels wrong when worn. Objects that randomly appear on your desk or doorstep. Even more alarming are items you recognize, gifts from people you barely know, or belongings that suddenly make you feel sick, nervous, or angry. A necklace that gives you a rash, a scarf that causes headaches, a mirror that you start avoiding for no reason. These objects are called spiritual anchors. Their purpose is to hold negative energy in your space, keeping you stuck, drained, or vulnerable. Think of them like routers for negative intention. They amplify and transmit low vibrational energy directly into your life. Where to look? People practicing energetic manipulation or witchcraft don't just toss these objects anywhere. They hide them in high traffic areas. Near your front door, thresholds are energetically significant. Under beds or inside mattresses. In potted plants or soil, earth grounds energy. Inside vents, closets, drawers. In your car, under seats or floor mats. Attached to clothing or jewelry. Also check your bathroom and workspace. These are both deeply tied to personal and professional energy. What to do if you find something suspicious? Do not touch it with your bare hands. This is crucial. Use gloves, tongs, or even a plastic bag to remove it. Wash your hands thoroughly after. Do not keep the item. Dispose of it far from your home, preferably through fire or water if safe and legal to do so. After removing the object, cleanse the area immediately. Burn sage or palo santo. Use sound, bells, clapping, singing bowls. Sprinkle salt, and speak protection affirmations or prayers. The energy must be reset, then observe what changes. People often report immediate shifts in energy. After removing these objects, better sleep, less conflict, more clarity, even sudden luck. But what if it was just a coincidence? That's the trick. These objects are designed to look innocent. A penny on your windowsill? A strange feather on your porch? Most would brush it off, but when combined with the other signs, unexplained problems, emotional disturbances, draining people, these objects become key pieces in a much darker puzzle. Finding even one strange object is enough to warrant deeper investigation, especially if your intuition is already sounding the alarm. By now, you've learned about the collapse of positive life patterns, the war waged on your body and emotions, and the hidden physical evidence left behind. This is not superstition. It's the ancient art of spiritual warfare, disguised in a modern world that pretends it doesn't exist. And if you've experienced even 2 or more of these signs, it's time to stop doubting yourself and start protecting your energy. By now, you've seen the first 3 unmistakable signs: sudden negative patterns, strange physical and emotional symptoms, suspicious objects or arrangements in your environment. But there are 2 more. 2 signs that often cut the deepest, and reveal the clearest spiritual interference. They deal with your relationships and your intuition, the most sacred parts of your human experience. And when those are being manipulated, you know something serious is happening. Let's start with your social world, the people you trust, love, and rely on. Sign number 4. Dramatic and unexplainable changes in your relationships. One of the most powerful weapons in spiritual attacks is isolation. Witchcraft and spiritual manipulation often target your relationships first, because when you're cut off from your support system, you're easier to influence, easier to weaken, and easier to control. And these changes in your relationships don't happen gradually. They hit like lightning out of a clear sky. Imagine a best friend of 10 years suddenly starts avoiding you, or your romantic partner who once adored you now feels cold, distant, and irritable for no apparent reason. Maybe family members start turning against you, not because of a major fight, but because of a slow, subtle shift in perception and behavior. The problem? You won't be able to point to one clear reason. That's what makes it so devastating. You're left confused, hurt, and alone. You try to make things right. You reach out. You explain. You apologize for things you didn't even do. But the more you try, the more the other person pulls away. Or worse, starts spreading rumors, turning others against you, or accusing you of things you didn't say or mean. Sound familiar? That's not normal relational tension. That's energetic sabotage. What it looks like: friends or partners becoming suspicious, angry, or indifferent without clear cause. Miscommunications happening repeatedly. Texts not received. Calls missed. Words twisted. Group dynamics suddenly shifting. Being excluded, ignored, or criticized. People believing lies or acting on confusion that never had a real source. If you try to confront it, you might hear things like, "I don't know, I just feel different about you. Something about you just changed. I had a weird dream about you. It made me realize things, but you haven't changed." The perception of you has, because someone has planted seeds of confusion, fear, and disconnection. That's one of the most common tactics of energetic interference. What to do? Don't force reconciliation right away. Focus first on clearing your own energy. Keep records of key conversations to help you stay grounded in reality. Limit emotional reactivity. Don't fuel the fire that's already been lit around you. Seek out face-to-face interactions when possible. Energy is harder to manipulate in person. Use protection prayers or affirmations before entering difficult conversations. Most importantly, don't internalize the rejection. The real you hasn't changed. The emotional distortion is not coming from inside you. It's being projected onto you. Sign number 5. Intuitive warnings and spiritual disturbances. Now we arrive at the final and most subtle sign. Your own inner voice. Call it gut feeling, intuition, spiritual discernment, or divine warning. Your soul always knows when something is off. Even when your mind tries to rationalize it. Even when people around you tell you it's just stress or paranoia. The truth is, your intuition will speak long before physical symptoms show up. Here's what that might look like. Feeling watched or off in your own home, especially at night. Sudden goosebumps or chills in certain rooms or near certain people. A tightening in your chest, shallow breath, or nausea in specific environments. Recurring dreams or nightmares featuring shadows, being chased, or distorted faces. Losing the desire to do spiritual practices that once brought you peace, meditation, prayer, journaling, blockages during sacred activities, constant interruptions during prayer, brain fog during journaling, or even tech glitches when trying to access healing content. These are not signs of stress. They're signs of energetic interference. Remember, paranoia is vague in general. Intuition is specific, consistent, and clear. You're not just randomly afraid. You're being warned. And here's the incredible truth. These intuitive alerts are often your first line of spiritual defense. They're the early alarms, trying to wake you up before the attack deepens. Honoring them could mean the difference between staying protected or falling into full vulnerability. How to strengthen your intuition. Write down every gut feeling, especially those that don't make logical sense. Keep a dream journal. Patterns emerge fast when tracked. Spend quiet time every day in stillness or meditation, even just 5 minutes. Say this affirmation: I honor my inner knowing. I trust my spiritual awareness. I listen, I discern, I protect. Cleanse your energy field through salt baths, sound healing, nature time, or energy work. When your inner voice speaks, don't override it. That discomfort around someone, that urge to stay home, that tightness in your stomach in a certain room, listen. That's your soul waving a red flag. So what now? Taking back your spiritual power. If you've recognized multiple signs, especially 3 or more, you are likely under spiritual attack. But knowing this is not the end. In fact, it's the beginning of your empowerment. Here's your next step. 1. Cleanse your space. Use sage, palo santo, or frankincense to smudge your home. Sprinkle salt across thresholds and windows. Ring bells or play high-frequency sounds to shift stuck energy. Say aloud, any energy not from love, leave this place now. Only peace may remain. 2. Cleanse your body and energy. Take a spiritual bath with salt, rosemary, and lavender. Spend time barefoot on the earth, grounding. Drink lots of water and avoid processed food. Carry protection stones like black tourmaline, obsidian, or amethyst. 3. Strengthen your protection field. Visualize a glowing shield of light surrounding you every morning. Call on spiritual guides, ancestors, or angels, depending on your path. Use this short prayer. I am divinely protected. No energy can harm me. No attack can reach me. I walk in light surrounded by peace. 4. Rebuild relationships slowly. Don't try to fix everything right away. Focus first on protecting your spirit and stabilizing your own field. When others start noticing the shift, they'll naturally return or reveal their true intentions. You now know the 5 major signs that someone may be using witchcraft or spiritual attacks against you. 1. Persistent illogical misfortune in multiple areas. 2. Unexplainable physical emotional symptoms. 3. Strange objects or energetic anchors in your space. 4. Sudden relationship breakdowns. 5. Spiritual or intuitive warnings. You also know what to do about it. This knowledge puts you in the driver's seat. You're no longer in the dark. You're no longer helpless. You're now empowered to protect, discern, and take back control of your life. Because the truth is, you were never weak. You were just uninformed. And now, with your eyes open and your spirit aligned, you can walk forward in confidence, untouchable by darkness. When you claim your spiritual power, no force can overpower you. You are protected. You are aware. You are unstoppable. If you're ready to go even deeper into specific protection rituals and spiritual cleansing, click on the next guided lesson. Your journey to full energetic sovereignty begins now.